Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another episode of Quiet Please, the Golf Podcast. I am Alan Depew, and our virtual living room is full tonight. We have, to my left, Boston Bob Baldessari, now in the bourbon country of Kentucky. Greetings, Bobby.
I need a bourbon right now.
I could use a bourbon myself, my friend.
Go ahead.
to my lower left, and just the man to fix us with a bourbon, Mr. Andy Hydehorn of Pew Mixers and golfer extraordinaire.
Yes, it's good to have our captain back, I must say.
I don't know about that, but thank you so much. Hey, to my right, D1 golfer, prettiest podcaster in golf, Christian Nazamus, who brings down our age demographic to a few years, right, Andy?
By chunks.
Just a few years.
Hey, and joining us also this week, we have Nancy Scranton and Elaine Crosby, both multiple-time winners on the LPGA Tour, now on the Ladies Legends Tour. And Bobby's got a connection there because we got a big event coming up. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, well, we probably ought to speak about Scotty. Something happened to him this past week. And Nellie doing Nellie things. And Bryson's image, a live report because Andy's chomping at the bit, and Xander got the monkey off the back, so to speak. But ladies, welcome. Boys, great to see you again. How we all doing?
Doing great here. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us this evening. Bobby, why don't you just give an overview? We'll dive into it in more depth in a little bit. But tell us what the ladies are going to be doing down at the Woodford Club.
Yeah, coming up in less than 2 weeks or so, Elaine and Nancy will be with me and our team at the Woodford Club just outside of Lexington, Kentucky for the Woodford Legends Invitational. So we're kicking that off. We had a small event last October, but we're really, really, really privileged to have 28 of some of the best lady golfers ever, World Golf Hall of Famers, LPGA Hall of Famers, 2 Hall of Famers right in front of us right here this evening. Multiple Hall of Famers, Legends Hall of Famers, and Elaine's a Michigan Hall of Famer, and Nancy's UK Hall of Fame. So Hall of Fame all over the place. We just can't thank you enough, Elaine and Nancy, for joining us tonight. And so you'll be with us at the Woodford Club in Versailles, just outside of Lexington, in a couple of weeks with 28 total LPGA Legends. We're going to be playing team event. So you two get a chance to team up tonight. Little practice round, maybe.
We're good at it.
Yeah, we're okay at that part. We'll see about the golf, right, Elaine? We're
That's right.
The living room talk and dinner table and happy hour, maybe.
Yep.
Never opposed to a happy hour.
We're good at that. The older you get, the better you get at it.
Yeah, exactly.
So ladies, actually, I'm going to go reverse order from the bullet points that I rattled off. Nellie Korda. Let's talk about the LPGA. We like to promote the LPGA. We don't feel it really gets the recognition it's probably due, because the ladies, the girls out there right now, they're tremendous talent, and I think we're seeing maybe one of the most dominant performances of recent memory. Any thoughts?
Well, I mean, how can you Nellie, you just watch her play. I mean, everything is so precision. You know, her swing is just like, I watch how much arc she gets in that swing, and obviously that's why she hits it so far, but it's the same every single time. So I'm pretty jealous.
It's just amazing that, you know, it was unbelievable when Lopez came out and she won 5 in a row as a rookie. But now with Nellie, 6 in a row, and what, 6 out of 7 or
6 out of 7, yeah.
6 out of 7, yeah, that's what it was. 6 out of 7. I mean, it's incredible, and she's got so much more media, I think, to deal with. There's a lot more. I mean, there was tons of media for Nancy. In fact, when she did that, that's kind of when I really got involved with playing golf. But all the responsibilities that Nellie has, it's hard to do the golf and the rest of the stuff together. It's just impressive.
I was saying on a previous show, I think what's impressive is it wasn't more than about a year ago she was in a hospital bed. and
right.
in recovering,
That's right.
and is actually was dominant then, fully recovered, and is I think more dominant today.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe all the rehab, who knows? But yeah, it's amazing. She just is,
Yeah.
I mean, every part of her game is good.
Right.
There
Long
was
and
a time.
That's a good one.
Andy,
There was a time though after she came back where she wasn't quite clicking, you know, and people started murmuring a little bit, when's Nellie going to win again? Well, that question's been answered, but you know, it wasn't like the minute she got back on, she started dominating again. It took her a little while to get back into her groove, and she's clearly found her groove now.
I mean, there are so many great players out there. I think, you know, people sometimes you're not playing that much differently, but you just don't quite win. Somebody else has a hot week. And I just don't think, I don't know, people, I don't know, watching may not understand how difficult it is to actually win. You can play really great and somebody has just a little bit better week. So to do what she's done is, I just can't even imagine how
Nancy,
exhausted it must be.
I found myself watching the ladies out at La Costa. The girls are playing the NCAA's right now, and the next wave of great players is just waiting to come. It's impressive. I'm Christian, men's side of the ball, obviously D1 golfer. I mean, depth of talent.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the thing that's most impressive with Nellie is her consistency, right? Obviously, she's dominant, right? But it's just the fact that she can keep doing it over and over and over again. You know, obviously there was that talk of her and Scotty going neck and neck as far as the most under par rounds. But I mean, what she has done, she's not going to stop either. I mean, I fully am confident that she's going to continue. I'm not going to say win every week, but she's going to continue to win multiple more weeks, at least more tournaments the rest of the season for sure.
She might get arrested next week, though. You never know.
I don't want to say it, but
Yeah, well, you know, when you think about Annika, when she was doing, and look at how many tournaments she won in not that long a period of time. And, you know, I mean, she was still there too. And Lorena. So, I mean, she's got some catching up to do, but I think she can do it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just saw something too, that there's already some talk about, hey, what PGA Tour event would give a sponsor exemption to Nellie? Like now it's already starting in that regard.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Does it
I know.
need to
What
have,
does that accomplish?
I know.
yeah. I think the first time with Annika was great, but
Yep.
that was enough, I think, you know, because what
Yep. I
what
had a
good
quick,
does come out of it, like Elaine said? Yeah.
I know. Did you two play in the JCPenney, the team event years ago?
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah, that was always one of my favorite events to watch every year.
Oh, yes.
I mean,
It
who
was-
did you?
Go ahead, Elaine. Who'd you play with?
I was just going to say, I played with Ed Humanick that I went to college with for
Yeah.
2 or 3 years. We lost to Chris Cheddar and Billy Andrade one year in a playoff. But I mean, it was so much fun. I mean,
It was a lot of fun. I actually played with Tom Wargo. He was one of the first Champions Tour players to play. He was my teacher from Illinois, and he was newly on the Champions Tour. And we were in contention the first couple of years we played together, but I don't know if you know Tom Wargo very well.
Oh, yeah.
He growled at me all the way around, but I was used to it. So it was okay. He was all right. But it was so much fun. But the funny story is before I played with Tom, I played with some other players, and the ladies always got really excited because it was a really big event, but the guys a lot of them would come and try out new clubs.
or try our clubs.
Yeah. Oh, that happened with me. Kenny Knox.
Didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Kenny
right.
Knox.
Kenny Knox was my partner one year, and he hit my clubs a couple times on the range and decided that he'd rather play with mine.
That is awesome.
Yeah, there were some good stories from that event for sure.
Bobby, obviously down Kentucky way, you had a little event going on this past week. You were out there You know, Andy goes off to the Kentucky Derby. I don't remember getting the invite, by the way.
Same with me.
You didn't get yours either, Christian?
Don't worry,
No, I'm
none of
still
you
waiting.
missed them. None of you missed
Still
the
waiting for
invite.
it. I check my mailbox every day. It's still, I don't
Yeah.
see an invitation anywhere.
But Bob, you were on the grounds at Valhalla. How was the golf course? What was the scuttlebutt? Where do you want to start? Scotty, Bryson, Xander. I'll say Bryson till Andy's live report. I have a thought on that one, but where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, physically walking the place, it's a big course. It's a big layout. It's long walks you'd be walking it from green to the next tee. It's spaced out. The back nine's hilly undulations, tree line. I came from what my wife told me, seriously, on the 15th hole, we're walking down the left side. I hear a whoosh and a thump right next to me. And that far away, a ball almost hit me in the head. My wife said, "You just almost got hit." We turned around and Luke Donald almost hit me with his tee shot. That was sort of exciting. But walking around, and then, so then they had a drop.
So that adds insult to injury as a PGA member with the spanking they put on the U.S. this past. Anyway, continue.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So anyways, yeah. So where was I? So anyways, walking the course, I mean, the vibe was there. When I was working with the PGA of America, we did our very first PGA Junior League photo op with Rory in 2014. That brought back a lot of memories where everybody said, "What's this called? This Junior League? What's it called?" Now it's a big deal. So it was neat to help get that going. But walking the course, it was still pretty wet. I took a couple of photos of people that had fallen. So their backsides are just, you don't wear white pants to an event that's been so muddy. And I saw, well, for later in the show, if we have time, Andy has a "Don't Be That Guy" segment. I found an epitome of "Don't Be That Guy," and karma is a blank. But the crowds were really into it. They were really behind Bryson, big time. Rory going crazy. Shane Lowry, I saw him make a really nice birdie on 9. People went crazy. It's a great venue. I know there's some discussion about, is it a major venue? Is it a major course? It's a terrific golf course. Maybe it needs to mature a little more. I think the Kentucky people come out and they're passionate. Might be the bourbon flowing, but they're passionate.
So I just want to go back to last week, and we had a guest from Hillview Club, Saul. I forget his last name, but
Marvin. Yeah.
So he and understandably so, right? I mean, that golf course is so long, and it was so wet, the ball was not really going anywhere on the ground, and he rightfully thought that the winning score would be in single digits. And we were talking about how everybody on PGA Tour Sirius Radio were talking how it was going to be, high teens to maybe even almost 20, and they were right. And I think the point I'm trying to make here is that length doesn't matter to these guys if it's soft, right? If it's soft, they're just firing at flag sticks, and it's just unbelievable at that length with no roll. I want to say that there were, maybe I'm wrong, but like 11 players that were over 10 under par or better. Crazy.
Elaine and Nancy, because I've actually, a couple of the tour caddies that I've gotten to know over the years, everybody seems to be able to pick the winning number. Was that the case back when you played? I mean, did you have a sense after playing a couple of practice rounds of saying, I think -8 is probably going to be the number this week, or we're somewhere in that ballpark?
I think, yeah. Don't you think, Nancy? I mean,
yeah, I especially courses. It was hard, I thought, like going to an Open or something like that a course you didn't know. I think it was a little more difficult. I don't know. I mean, you have courses where that the scoring, that you're always going to have to shoot low, and
right.
And others where par is a pretty decent score. I didn't really focus too much on that. I don't know. Maybe I should have. I don't know.
Well, that's what we did wrong. Ah, man,
Elaine, shoot.
darn it, I wish I'd known that. I'm sure the caddies did, though. I'm sure
I'm
they,
sure.
when they, most of them.
Right.
So,
Right. Exactly.
our caddy situation when we were on tour, I mean, it was starting to get better
Right.
later in our careers, but we had some interesting people
Right.
caddying back
Right.
in our early
They
days.
probably weren't quite as efficient, maybe is a good word, as
Yeah,
they
you
are.
would just
now.
hope they showed up on the Thursday morning
Exactly.
an hour before your tea time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in all fairness, I think if you go across all the professional ranks in the 80s, there was a lot of that for caddies on
Yeah,
men's tour, on the ladies tour. I mean, it was a different deal.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
Do you
You make a lot of money out there if you, I mean, even have a decent bag, especially
Yeah.
on the men's tour and the ladies tour too. Now there's so much
Yeah.
more money.
Right.
Do you remember playing at the Boston 5 Classic? Was it at Ferncroft?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
At Ferncroft?
Yeah, I caddied in that 3 years in a row. So I was a local caddy, but I played a lot of golf there. Paul Barkhouse was a head pro. He's a good friend of my dad, and my game was improving, and that was a good, great experience. So I caddied for Kathy Shirk, Beverly Class, and I can't remember the third. Yeah. Oh, I can tell you a story about Beverly.
Oh, I bet you could.
Yeah, a couple stories.
Wasn't she,
Um,
the first time she qualified to play in a tournament, or she was like 12 or 9 or
Really
something
young,
like that?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before her, yeah. It's
Interesting.
nice to say that maybe I came out right at the end of her being out there, I think. I don't know. Elaine, she was out there for a little
A
bit. when
few
we were
years.
there,
Yeah, a few years. Yeah.
but she
Out
didn't
there.
last very long. Yeah.
We had some characters in the player side too when we came out.
Yes, we did. We did. Yeah.
Not
we
to
did.
name any names, but
Yeah.
yeah.
There was probably it was a lot more colorful back then with players and caddies than it changed a lot. I mean, I retired in the end of 2008 and qualified. Elaine and I were rookies together. We qualified. 85 was our rookie year. And it changed a lot for sure between when we started and when I retired. So it's a lot more money and a lot more professional, but maybe not quite as much fun.
We're
That
sort
was
of
the
like,
fun thing, yeah, about getting back on the Legends and getting us all together because we were back having fun again.
Yeah.
exactly. I was just going to mention, it's like you go from that time when it was more of a game on the tour. It was camaraderie. It was even at the green grass level. At some point, I always said this, at some point, the game went from the game to the business.
Yeah.
And it just, and I worked for Dean Beeman for a few years at his club in Virginia. And I said, Dean, you took the tour from station wagons to jets, and then Tim took it up with Tiger. And what do you lose in those times where, 5 people are in a hotel room, but you get the stories, get the characters, and it's nice it feels really good for me because I've got a foot in the old school, a foot in the new school to have all of you legends coming back to the Woodford Club. And I saw it last year when there was Pat Hurst and Pat Bradley and Jane, and just to get everybody together, Michelle McGann, and they're just like, hey, great to see you, and getting that camaraderie back together.
It's a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun at our events, and then you also get to know some people. Like Pat Bradley's a perfect example. She was really business-like on tour because she said she had to. That's the way she had to play, and she enjoys the Legends events a lot because she could, loosen up a little bit and have some fun with everybody. And she said that to me. I mean, I'm not just saying that about her, but she's admitted that, and that she's really enjoyed being able to do that.
Well, and Jan Stevenson as well. I mean, she really wasn't somebody that hung out with us, she
Right.
wasn't but now, she's definitely one of us. So,
Right.
When Nancy and I came out, we used to have a group that when you go out for dinner, and it was just players pretty much, a few caddies occasionally, or some,
Yeah.
somebody coming in that you might know. But I mean, we'd sit around, we'd go to a restaurant, there'd be 10 of us sitting around and,
Yeah.
having dinner together. I don't think the players do much of that anymore.
No.
They're teams, as they call them. We didn't
Yeah.
have a team.
We didn't
were,
have a team. No,
we
were
didn't
our
have
team.
teams.
We were our team.
Yes.
I would have to say on the men's side, the name I keep coming back to is Davis Love III. Is when he came out, it was that more robotic, and again, maybe it was like Pat Bradley. It was more that robotic approach to the game, very stoic, and maybe this is just the way he had to. But it was also the time that I feel that golf was taking the next step, and he kind of was that poster boy at that point in time on the men's side. Speaking of teams, Christian, Xander was extremely complimentary of his team. You notice, by the way, I still haven't gone to the whole Scotty thing in depth because it's been beaten up on social media. But Xander, what's your thoughts, Christian? I know you have some.
I have thoughts on everything. But when you look at Xander and how he played all week, he was in full control of the entire tournament, every round, every shot. He was not being beat, in my opinion, at all. Right. I think if he were to lose that, I think somebody would have had to actually physically shoot better than a 65, or, had to go out and probably shoot 62, 61 to even have a shot of winning. But I love how he alluded to his team afterwards, right? Because, it doesn't matter who you are, how successful you are, like everybody in life will always fail. And it's a matter of who you have in your corner to help you and guide you to that success. And I think, on any tour that you play on, it's critical to have the right team in place. I keep going back, for example, like to Joel Damon, for example. That's one guy that just keeps playing in my head, because I'm not saying he doesn't have a good team, but I know that the caliber of a player that he can be, I think if he got his right mindset back on the golf course, that would be a game changer. Xander, on the other hand, we always knew that he could do it. It's just a matter of when he was going to do it. And, he's always striking the ball phenomenally. He was always I think putting maybe lacked a little bit over the years, but now, again, he played great. And I wouldn't even be surprised if he contended again in the major this year. It's tough to say, obviously, because the courses are always different, but he definitely showed, what he's made of this week. Definitely.
Andy, a number 10, watching Sunday, number 10, he's got 272 to carry. Takes out the 3-wood out of the bunker and tries to lay it up there front left of the green, knocks it in the thick stuff and gouges out, makes 6 on the easiest hole. And at that point in time, I'm sitting there, is this going to be that Xander moment? But bounce back the next 2 holes, throws darts, goes birdie, and gets right back into the game.
Yeah, and I think to Christian's point, like there are some weeks where you just watch and you see, it's like Wyndham Clark at the US Open last year, you could just see it in their face that they're going to win, right? The week before he was, neck and neck with Rory, and Rory blew him out of the ballpark there at the end. But you could just see that Xander's game was in shape, and I think the thing that happened on 10 was, like he said, he goes, "Hey, I make mistakes like that all the time, right?" But it wasn't really representative of the way he was playing. That proves the fact that he was able to birdie the next 2 holes and right the ship. And I mean, you could see it in his eyes. He was winning that tournament.
Elaine and Nancy, you've won a whole bunch of times on Tour Legends. Nancy, you won a major championship. I was looking at that thinking, I told a bunch of the members of the club, I think Xander just was in the pissed off mood, almost like, I'm not going to let this get away. And I mean, you've been there where you get close and they always say you have to lose to learn how to win. But what was your mindset similar in any regard like that?
Yeah, a little bit. It was funny because I barely made the cut that it was in Canada. And then I went out and just, freewheeling it because I'd made the cut by a shot or something, but I went out and I just got really hot and I was free. I got out of my own way and shot 64 on Saturday to get into the final group. And I was, of course, nervous, and that was my first win. So I hadn't even won anything yet. And I was nervous, and I was a little, trying not to make a mistake, and made a couple of bogeys, and then made a birdie, and then kind of calmed down a little bit. And then the next hole I holed out on my second shot, and from then on in, I hit it tight and was like 6 under my last 7 holes. Just, I got out of my own way. I was like, I was so tight, and then I loosened up a little bit with the birdie, and just kind of got out of my way. And I don't know, it's just hard. Sometimes you have to just get that mindset. I don't know. It's you just wish you could get in that frame of mind all the time. Let it happen.
Yeah.
Elaine, similar feelings as in your victory?
Yeah, my first victory on the LPGA was in Japan. So talk about not having a team with you. I had players, Nancy and John Coe, and yeah, you were there, and a few of the caddies. But yeah, the second day I shot 64. Seems to be the number. Ours was a 3-day tournament. And I got the privilege of the last day I played Ayako Komodo and Dawn Ko Jones. And, I think I had a 2 or 3 shot lead starting the day. And I get on this was back when we hit 2 irons and stuff like that. And I get on and I, first hole, and I hit it off the tee. Okay. But then I hit a terrible second shot. And now I'm going to freak out. And Dawn, who was a good friend, she's like, would you settle down? It's the first hole. Now she's competing against me. She's in the final group. And I'm like, okay. And then I just kind of got in that, like Nancy's saying, you just kind of get in that and like just keep playing, just keep hitting the shots. And she definitely did calm me down. But I had about a 3-shot lead with 2 holes to play, and they were both par 5s. And I said, walking to the next tee, I said, the way I started, if you had told me I was going to have a 3-shot lead starting or playing with 2 holes to play, I would have told you you're crazy. And she turned to me, and if you had to know Dawn, she was very matter of fact. She turns to me and she goes, we're not done playing. I was like, oh, okay. So Ayako hits first, skies it. I mean, like, not even hard to get to the fairway. Dawn gets up, skies it. I mean, we all hit it like 150 yards. I mean, we all skied it. It was hilarious. So I think we all made par, and Dawn might have made a birdie after all that. And then we got on the last hole, and I'm coming down the last hole, and I hit a really good shot in. But now I have to start worrying about how am I going to pay my caddy. And I'm talking to Ayako about, do you have any yen? How much yen do you have? Because I have none, and I got to pay this caddy. And it was just a whole interest. It was fun. And then, we always had fun in Japan. But
yeah, we did. So we had a lot of fun too.
Yeah, afterwards, especially. But the second win was in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and I was in like the 3rd of the last group, maybe.
Keystone Classic?
Yes.
That was
and it was the last year, and it was the last year.
I lived 13 years and I actually was a member at Hershey Country Club.
Awesome golf course.
Oh, amazing.
And I just was steady. I was playing really. I had finished 3rd the week before at the LPGA Championship, so I was playing well. But even one of the rules officials said, "You were just so calm. You're just playing, and I just watching you." And he said, "I just kept looking at you, going, she's gonna win this tournament, just from sitting in his cart, So I was pretty calm, and then I just watched people get done, and they didn't beat me. But that was fun.
Which course did you play there? Did you play the East course or the West?
Mm.
The West was the older one.
The one where you stand on.
Okay, then we played the West.
Right by the
post. Yeah, like the one that the clubhouse is the side the clubhouse is on.
Yeah,
The opposite side of. I think it was the West.
That's.
Did you play past the Chocolate Factory?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the West course.
Yeah.
That's the West course. Okay.
That's the West course.
And Milton Hershey's mansion is like on the 6th hole there or something. Like
that would be hole number. That would be hole number 5, Andy.
Oh, sorry, Alan.
Wasn't there like a par 3 that he was up? I can't remember by the.
It was a par 3.
Par 3 was back next to the river. I have to tell this story because I don't think good shots. I started on that golf course. I was I was 5 under after 4 holes,
Oh, whoa.
and I think
Hello.
I shot 77.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That
too many
sounds about right.
No, that was a fun tournament too. Yeah, we
It
go
was.
to the factory and get our tour.
And go to, what was the amusement park across the
At
Hershey
Hershey Park.
Yeah.
Hershey Park.
Yeah, we used to go there and yeah.
Yeah,
The roller
we
coasters and
used to
stuff.
play the Pennsylvania State Junior at Hershey Country Club.
What a perfect place to play that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We would do so well in places like that. Hershey, Pennsylvania, Corning, New York, Rochester, New York, Springfield, Illinois,
Yep.
you know, a little bit smaller markets. It was a big deal and we got great crowds there.
Legends.
Yeah, I remember on the 18th holes, that kind of little dog leg down the hill and to the right.
Yep.
And it was lined up both sides of the fairway. And I looked at my caddy and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. I'm going to hit somebody. And he goes, no, you're not. And I hit 3-wood, I think, off the tee perfectly. And he got me through the last hole. Remember Chad, that guy Chad, Nancy, that I kind of had to let go because I couldn't stand the smell of the alcohol in the morning.
Yeah, those were things we did have to deal with back then.
Yes,
If
you
the
know, under
world
an
only
umbrella at
knew,
the British Open.
if the world only knew what you were thinking about, right? You know,
Yeah.
you're
Yes.
winning the tournament, and you know,
Yes.
you look like you got it all together.
Mhm.
And the worst thoughts come into your mind, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
And now, the older you get, the worse the thoughts are. I mean, I was just playing with the guys tonight, and I was like, I hit a bad chip, and I'm like, you guys don't even have a clue what was in my head right now. You don't want to know.
La 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 la.
Christian,
Exactly.
Christian, in 20, 30 years, you'll be up to speed on where we're at in this conversation.
Yeah, you'll understand.
Right.
You'll understand. Yeah.
You will. You can't avoid it, I don't think.
All right, Bobby, I got to shift gears for 1 second. Then we got to bring Andy in for his live report. I'm going to give you the only comment on Scotty. You were on site. What's your thoughts? It's been beat up in social media. We don't have to beat it up here.
Yeah, you know, on the one hand, I saw a lot of T-shirts with Free Scotty, and there were comments about it. And I just thought everybody got away from this.
Capitalism at its greatest, right? So
Yeah, but then people forgot a guy died, you know, and everybody, it was all about Scotty, it was all about everything, and it was all about he's stretching in the jail room. You know, my perspective was just like, I don't really care about that. A guy died. I texted some of the officers of PGA America and said, can we start a GoFundMe for this guy's family? I mean, you know, I just thought that got lost in the whole mix because it was fun to do #Free Scotty, fun to do all the other stuff. And I don't know, it was like, you know, it's a golf tournament, but somebody died and I drove right by where the guy lost his life. We had to go right through that area. So it was, you know, it was a little bit sobering.
well said. Well said, Bobby.
Mhm.
Andy, your live report, your most
we live-
enjoyable part of every show.
Should we live it up here for a couple minutes?
Do live it up here for just a couple of minutes. And all I'm going to say before you go on with this is, I said it before we hit record. I believe that Bryson, of all the players on live, is doing the most to rebrand himself right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of agreed with that too. I think John Rahm's comments, you know, wrangled people's panties up a little bit, you know, when it came to some of his thoughts that he had about, you know, I still want to be a member of the PGA Tour, and so that was an interesting thing. But I think more so on a bigger level, Liv is kind of going through some interesting times right now. So on the PGA Tour side, anyway, Jimmy Dunn resigned, and he resigned because basically he was the one who was really spearheading getting this deal done with the public investment fund. And you know, I think that Jay Monahan probably played his cards probably a little bit incorrectly and alienated a lot of the membership of the PGA Tour, and therefore a lot of new guys got on the policy board and therefore, you know, really stopped any progress toward making a deal. Jimmy Dunn came right out and said it. He said, you know, I did everything I could do. I thought we had the framework of a deal, and it's not going anywhere. So I thought that was an interesting thing. I thought the whole drama about Rory getting back on the policy board, and then all of a sudden he's not on the policy board, but he's on this new transaction committee, which is a new committee put together to try and, you know, make this deal happen, whether it's with the Public Investment Fund or the Strategic Sports Group. So it's interesting. I think as Liv continues to kind of live off in their own little parallel world, it's nice to see their players come together at the PGA Championship, and you know, golf is a better place when everybody's playing in the same place. So that is the ins and outs of the Liv report.
Ladies, would you like to chime in?
Dramatic pause.
Okay, let's move to the Woodford Club.
Yeah, there you go.
In more in depth, the ladies have joined us in preparation, couple of weeks down Kentucky way. Tell us about the beginning of the foundation of how this was created. What's the format they're going to be playing? How do people get to come out and see?
Yeah, so
Oh, you
Well,
Bob.
Bob's got the answers to that.
well, I came out here about a year ago and had talked to Jane Blaylock quite a bit about trying to do this at my club in Florida. And I ended up here, and I just thought, actually, to Elaine's point earlier, Lexington, Kentucky area, this market, a hotbed of golf, and not a lot of big pro sports here. UK sports is unbelievable to begin with, but just thought this is a great venue. The mindset, the culture of the Woodford Club with the ownership, with my background, very heavy into women's golf, legacy of women's, doing a lot of things for women's golf. So this is really a celebration of women in golf. What we're doing with all of the events all through the week, June 4 to June 8. Still tickets available. Sound like a radio guy there, but at the woodfordclubfoundation.org, woodfordclubfoundation.org. Definitely could come out, watch the program. It'll be June 7th, a Friday, and June 8th, a Saturday, will be the tournament days. 2-person teams. So we have 28 legends of the LPGA. Elaine and Nancy will be a team. A lot of unbelievable names that are coming in. Also, we have 12 of the finest women amateur golfers in Kentucky coming in here. Some of the ladies, especially a couple of the teammates from UK, the golf team, played at Augusta National and Women's Amateur there. So these are exceptional women golfers of amateur level, professional level. I've been telling everybody this is just some of you've walked in the greatest courses around the world, ladies, Elaine and Nancy here. So June 4 to June 8, really a celebration of golf, women's golf coming into Central Kentucky. And we're going to grow this event. We feel strategic planning that we want to be the incubator to grow this into 4 to 5, 6 events across the middle part of the country. That it's we're helping you to get the Legends Tour really going.
That's awesome. I mean,
That's great.
I know everybody's really looking forward to getting there and getting going at it.
Yeah.
That's it was
Perfect.
I mean, to play in team, and also to play in team event, we don't feel like we're having to work that hard because Nancy's gonna hit all the long shots and I'll hit the short shots.
Oh boy. You know, it is fun. You know, we had Solheim Cup, and then we had like the Honda Cup, which was like the Solheim Cup, but for the Legends Tour for quite a while. We don't have that anymore, but you know, team events are fun, and it's a lot less stressful because we don't play that much anymore. So I feel like I'm like cramming for an exam, but you know, I told Elaine I didn't want to peak too soon. I've got a couple weeks to go, so I don't want to get my best yet. But it's
well,
really,
I made her go practice. So
yeah, she did. She did.
You have to practice if you're gonna do this.
But it's great. I'm really excited to come back to Lexington. I haven't been back in a long time. I was there a couple years ago when they inducted Betty Lou Evans into the UK Hall of Fame, which was great. And sadly, we lost her in the past year, I think it's been. So, but I'm really looking forward to that. And in fact, I think a lot of the UK golfers are coming back into town in early September for a golf team reunion. So I'm really looking on twice in Lexington in the next year. So it'll be fun.
Nice. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Andy?
Should we get the ladies on the hot seat?
I think
Oh,
it's-
no.
I think
Here we
it's
go.
about time, Andy.
Welcome to the quiet, please. Hot seat.
Boy.
Okay, easy, simple. First thing that comes to your mind. I'm gonna go back and forth. Nancy, you'll answer first. What's your lowest 18-hole score?
63.
Okay, Elaine.
64.
Okay, Elaine, you're first for this one. What are your 3 favorite golf courses that you have played?
Country Club of Jackson in Jackson, Michigan, my home course that I played today.
Oh, suck up.
Stuck up, yep. No, the Mission Hills, where we played the Dinah Shore. That was awesome. And gotta say Hershey Country Club, because did pretty good there.
Yeah.
Nancy?
I'd probably have to say Vancouver Golf Club, which is where I won the Du Maurier, the Canadian Open. Columbia Edgewater in Portland, Oregon, and probably Rochester Country Club or Locust Hill Country Club in Rochester. Yeah, like the northern type courses.
Christian's from up that direction.
Christian probably has something to say about that.
Love
That's a
that.
great golf course.
Great golf course.
I've played that handful. I was like an hour from that golf course growing up. What a phenomenal track that was.
It's a great course.
Yeah, it's very good.
Absolutely.
We loved it there.
Narrow too off the tee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay, Nancy, what 3 courses have you not played that you would like to play?
Ooh, Augusta.
Mm-hmm.
Hung out with Elaine there watching this year though, so that was fun. Augusta have not played. Let's see. I've gotten to play Pebble, which I really wanted to play, but really, I'm not a real course thing. I played some beautiful courses. My husband's from New Zealand, so I've gotten to play a couple of really amazing courses in New Zealand that are beautiful, but I mean, I'm just going to triple down with Augusta National.
Okay, fair enough.
Fair.
Elaine?
I would say I would agree with Augusta. I'd like to play St. Andrews. Never been over to Scotland. And I hear great things about Old Head, which I will be playing in September. So I'm looking forward to that.
Awesome. Okay, Elaine, you're up for this one. Name the 3 best golfers of all time in no order.
Ooh.
Male
Kathy
or female,
Whitworth.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, Kathy Whitworth.
Yep.
Jack Nicklaus. Gotta say Tiger.
Nancy?
But I'd put Kathy first ahead of that. She was amazing.
Yeah, she was. I got to put Tiger in there. He just did things that, and then, she didn't play as long, but Mickey Wright.
Yeah.
Maybe more of a great golf swing than maybe the greatest golfer. I don't know. And then, that did so much for the sport. You've got to look into Nancy Lopez.
So I love having you ladies on. We had Jane Blaylock and Jan Stevenson on last year, and you guys give such good answers to these questions, and it's just not the same. We get the same answers from a lot of our guests, so I appreciate the fresh answer. Yeah. So okay, Nancy, what's the best part of your game?
When I'm playing a lot, I probably my irons.
Okay, Elaine?
I would say my consistency in being in the fairway off the tee. Not long, but almost always in the fairway.
Okay, Elaine, what skill is most important for a player to play good golf?
Short game, putting and around the greens, because you can hit it all over the place, but if you can hit chip and putt, yeah. And nobody practices it. Like, I mean, pros do, obviously. I watch the people at the club. They're hardly ever over at the practice range. I mean, at the practice range.
Right.
Pipe down there, Alan. Pipe down. Okay, Nancy, to you.
I think understanding how to get it around. I mean, I think people could get so much better by learning when to hit shots and when not to hit shots, and just nobody cares how you do it. I just feel like when I see people playing that I could just say, don't do that. Just do this. And, you know, I just think that people could lower their scores with obviously short game, but just managing their game better.
Yeah, good point. Okay, Nancy, who is your favorite golfer, past or present?
Oh, gosh.
You don't have to say Elaine. It's okay.
Will you make a lot of putts if I say Elaine?
Maybe. Oh, man.
Oh, boy, that's a really, really, really hard one. Gosh, there are a lot of different golfers for different reasons. You know, I said her name before, Nancy Lopez, but I think I'd have to put her up there because she's really the reason I started doing this. She brought so much publicity, and she was such a breath of fresh air, and she won a lot, and she was great, and she had, you know, the big smile, and everybody loved her, and it brought so much publicity to the game. And I thought, I think I want to do that. So, you know, I got to give her that.
Yeah, that's a great answer. Elaine?
I would have to say Patty Bird. And I lived in Fort Myers for 20 years. Was very good friends with her. We went to the same church. She used to come over to my house and watch football. She was amazing. And then she would give, you know, go around and give speeches all the time. And they were funny, but they were always really good. She told me one time when she was in the hospital, it wasn't a major thing, but she was like, Elaine, now don't hit balls as much as I did. And of course I did. And so my back hurts now too. So, but no, she was an amazing person and golfer.
Awesome. Okay, Elaine, this is my personal favorite question. So quickly describe the best shot you've ever hit, time, place, and situation.
Oh, well, I would say, can I say two shots? Because they were all on the same hole.
Sure.
So it was in Hershey. I already described hitting the tee shot with the crowd. You know, it seemed like it was 10 deep on the corner of that 18th hole, but it really wasn't. But then I had about a 7-iron, I think, in. And I was like, oh my gosh, if I miss this or what, you know, you had all those things going through, but I flushed it right up and hit a nice first putt and made par and ended up winning the tournament.
Awesome. Nancy?
I would, there's a couple too, but I have to say that it was a putt I won in Naples at the Strand, and I was in a playoff with Maria York, and I hit it about 10 feet in the first playoff hole, and Maria hit it like 20 feet and she made it. And then I made it on top of her to go to another hole, and then I ended up winning. So I'd probably have to say that was probably the best shot.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And Andy, that's why we practice putting.
How you practice putting, Alan? When it's all you have, it's all you have.
It's true.
Ouch.
Oh.
So, by the way, just a point, last week, one of the Lawrence brothers claimed himself the best putter in the world. So I think it's probably better that you weren't there.
Yeah, there'll be a throw-in match on that.
Yeah. Okay, Nancy, what do you cherish most about the game of golf?
Oh gosh. I think that because of what I did for a living and what we did for a living, I made some of the best friends in the world and traveled so many places that I never would have gotten to go to. I mean, like, you know, Elaine was talking about Japan. I mean, I don't know how many times we got to go to Japan, and we went as a group. And as she said earlier, we didn't have teams with us. We were a team together. And so it was, I mean, I look back and I think I was very fortunate. I had some very good friends, Elaine and Donko Jones, Lisa Walters. You know, I don't know that the life would have been as much fun as it was. But to do all these things with good friends, it's pretty special.
Yeah. Elaine?
I obviously ditto what Nancy just said, but I also, golf is so, I mean, it's just, you can't master it. So even yesterday morning, I had time to go out in the morning. It was not windy for a change here in Michigan, and hit some balls. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, that feels good. I think I can play, you know, and I played pretty good tonight with the guy. We have a group of guys I play with on Wednesday nights. And I was like, the fact that you can go out and just keep trying, you know, like I'm trying to get in a better place about that. It's like, okay, last week I shot 80, this week I shot 72. I mean, but you get to keep trying, no matter how old you are and how short you hit it or whatever. Just move up a tee box and keep trying harder.
That's a great point. Okay, final extra credit question.
Oh.
Elaine, how many holes in one do you have in your career?
I have 9.
9?
None.
That was
None.
that was my reaction.
It was a one question. It was a one-word answer. How many hole in ones? I have 9.
Fair enough.
That's incredible.
Nancy?
Wow.
I have 3, I think.
That's more reasonable.
Yeah, 3.
Oh, my last hole in one was I think my last U.S. Senior Women's Open. Where were we, Nancy? You didn't go.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we were in Dayton at the what's that course in Dayton?
NCR?
Oh,
NCR. Thank you. And I was on, I think it was 14, and I think it's the downhill par 3, and was not hitting it well there. And I hit it, and it took one bounce and went in the hole to the right. I mean, it like bounced and went into the right. And I had to it helped me that hole in one. Without that hole in one, I wouldn't have made the cut.
Oh,
and then I had to play 2 more days.
Well, thank you both. You survived the quiet please.
Do we get a prize for that or something?
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking, who won?
You get an invitation to come back. How's that?
Oh, okay.
And you won't have to be on the hot seat the second time.
Ah.
All right, Christian, 18th green. Final thoughts to you, sir.
Whew. No, I'm kidding. First off, I wanted to thank Elaine and Nancy for coming on. It was great to obviously talk to both of you. Good luck, by the way, in the future events coming down the road. I'd love to have you back on because I'd love to pick your brain more about like just life on tour and everything. So if you're willing to come back on, we'd love to have you. And just again, I appreciate you both for coming on.
No problem.
Thank you, Chris.
Fun.
Andy?
So this week's U.S. Women's Open is at Lancaster Country Club.
Great track.
When I was a kid playing at Brookside Country Club in Allentown, my pro Rick Roundsville would take me to play in the A.B. Thorne tournament every year with him. It was a Pro-Am scratch event, and I cherish those days. Every summer we would go get in the car, drive 2 hours, and go to Lancaster Country Club and play one of the finest, best, most beautiful golf courses that you'll ever play anywhere.
Bobby?
Well, I have a don't be that guy story from the PGA Championship. I'll keep it PG rated here, but it's, you know, karma comes around, you know, sometimes you get a good bounce in the tournament, you lip out this and that. And we're walking around the 13th green area and coming on a cart path. And my wife, Pam, says, oh my God, there's a guy relieving himself right next to a tree in the middle of the PGA Championship. And she looks around, she goes, "Can you believe this?" So the guy's about 40, 50 yards ahead of us. And we see this thing happen. And so then he starts walking and we're walking. And then from behind our back, the car paths aren't that wide. A big vehicle comes through. And so the big vehicle comes through, he gets pushed to the side and ends up in a puddle. So, don't be the guy that relieves himself, because you never know. Karma comes and you end up in a puddle. He had tan shorts. He was a mess. It was pretty funny, but thank you so much, Elaine and Nancy. I can't wait to see you in a couple of weeks. We're going to have a great event. We have a lot of neat things planned. And again, we're going to build on this event at the Woodford Legends Invitational. So love to get your feedback. Excited to have you.
Elaine,
we can't wait.
Yeah.
Ladies, final thoughts? Would you like to chime in?
Well, I'm just like looking forward to coming down there, but you guys are great. I'll get on with you guys anytime. Just chat.
Me too.
This
It was fun.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And, we just want to build that Legends Tour back up, however it can happen. So
Yeah.
and we're very thankful to the Woodford for
Yeah.
stepping
And
up. And
we're a lot of fun. We, maybe don't play as well as we used to, but we sure are a lot of fun. And there's a lot of good golf too, though, I have to say.
Yep.
We've got some great players coming in. That's for sure.
Bobby said he's got an all-star roster this year.
It's a great roster. It's really good.
Looking forward to hearing that. My final thought before we close the show is golf is hard. We all know that. And you want to understand how hard it can be? A former major champion, or I should say a major champion, will not be playing in the U.S. Open this year. Sergio Garcia loses in a seven-man for six-spot playoff Monday down in Dallas.
Wow.
Tough game.
wow.
7 for 6.
7
Yeah.
for 6. And
And the major winner didn't come out of that?
Wow.
And the major
go.
winner didn't come out of that.
And the major champion did not come out of that. Ladies, again, thank you, boys. Great to see you. As always, we'll catch you next week.